Welcome YouTube, Smoking Sassy. Today we are doing pulled pork. Look at this.
Ah, beautiful.
I woke up at 4 in the morning today to do it, to get it on the big green egg.
I slept in.
She slept in. So let me tell you something about pulled pork. I think it scares a lot of people because the cook time can be between 8 to 12 hours. However, it's not hard. It just takes patience. So pulled pork is one of those, if you're afraid to do a long cook, don't be afraid. You really can't mess it up. You have to try hard to mess it up, and we'll walk you through the process.
Oh, so it's so easy, even you can do it.
Even I can do it, and I did do it. And really, pulled pork is one of the long cooks that I know will come out every time. So if I'm told to bring something to a party, something big, I'll bring a pulled pork over a brisket or even ribs because I know it'll come out every time, or brisket's like 50% for me, to be honest with you. So anyway, let's get started. We're going to go step back. We're going to go take a step in the time machine and go to 4 a.m. this morning, and I'll show you how to prep it, and then we'll go from there. Good morning. It is about 4:30 in the morning. I got our pork butt out. I already rinsed it off a little bit, patted it dry with some paper towels. We got this from Costco. Actually, because of a 2-pack, we made one a little while ago. I froze this one, and I thawed it out over the most of the Wednesday's been in the refrigerator, and now it's ready to go. So Wednesday was 3.5 days ago. First thing I'm gonna do is just give this a light spray. I got some olive oil cooking spray. I just really want something really light, just act as a binder. You can use mustard. A lot of people do use mustard. My recommendation is if you use mustard, put it on really thin. A lot of people will gobble mustard on. To me, it doesn't develop a very good crust. So I use a mustard my first couple of years, but I just kind of just do a light spray. Sometimes if you don't dry this out all the way, I dried it and it sat while I set the camera and stuff, so it got really dry. That's the main reason I'm spraying this. A lot of times the residual moisture is enough to be as a binder. First thing I'm going to use is basically a all-purpose rub. Salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic, just as a good foundation. And this is a big piece of meat. Like I said, it came in a 2-pack, so I don't know the weight. I would say this is a good 6 to 7 pounds, just looking at it. Yeah. I do my best to keep one hand clean, one hand touching the meat, but sometimes I do forget. You can get all sides. Now you have your good base. It's up to you. Sometimes I just leave it like this, especially if I'm going to use pulled pork for other options. Sometimes I'll, make like pork lettuce wraps or something like that. Pork tacos. Maybe I don't necessarily want the barbecue flavoring on it. This one here, I have a lot of people here, so I know we're going to eat the pork as it is, or make pork sandwiches. So I'm going to add a barbecue seasoning, but there's nothing wrong with just leaving it to salt, pepper, garlic, and just like an all-purpose rub. The main reason I'm going to do this is I want that color. I want that pizzazz, that you would see if you went to a restaurant or a cooking competition or something like that. So I'm going to add another layer of, this is smoky sweetness, this is hooks, but you can use any barbecue you want. Again, depending on my audience, I'd probably choose something else with a little more kick, because I do like a little kick, but I do have people here that are sensitive to heat. So we'll go easy on them. And it's the same process as before. So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, probably another 20 minutes before the egg is ready to go, which is fine. This needs to sit. The other thing too is I did put this, I always smoke on a rack. Just makes it easier to carry and stuff, especially if this doesn't have the bone in it, so it may fall apart. The one thing I did learn, actually learned this from Malcolm Reed, is you turn the rack upside down. Probably can't see that on camera, but this way the little legs are sticking up, and then you can turn it around and on your grill move it around pretty easily. Don't know why I never thought of that myself, but that's probably why Malcolm's a pro and I'm an amateur. So just a little helpful hint for you. Again, you don't have to use the rack. It's your call. I just think it's easier to move it on and off and around and stuff. I mentioned before I'm using the big green egg. I may have to move it off and put some more coals in. Yeah, the coals I went about bought a new bag once I decided to use the egg. And I guess I should open the bag and check it. Not a lot of big pieces in there, so I'm kind of concerned about it holding out low and slow and lasting a while. You know, if I can get some of the name brands with the bigger lumps in there, I wouldn't worry so much. But they didn't have those at the store. I went to 2 stores and both of them were out. So either those are run out for President's Day or, you know, they give the old same excuse everybody gives, a supply chain. So who knows? But again, we'll play it as it goes. That's why I'm using the rack again. If I have to take it off to put more coals in, it'll be easier to do that. All right, we're gonna let this rest for another 20 minutes. Get the egg up the temp and get it blowing out some clean smoke. And then we'll put it on the big green egg. Here's a pork buck. I pulled this off at 175. I think it's like 174.6 or something, but close enough. And you don't have to do this. This is optional. You can leave it on the smoker and let it go until it gets to 203, 204, somewhere around there. However, there is a stall period and it will drag out the cook a little longer. So if you got the time, go ahead, leave it out there. If not, wrap it in foil and that will speed the cook up quite a bit. I got 2 layers of foil. That might be double kill. This is the heavy duty stuff, so maybe it is double kill, but I've always used 2. A couple things. I mentioned earlier I was using the big green egg. I still am. I did have to put more lump charcoal in there after I pulled this. So actually it's perfect timing because I'll probably have another 2 hours or so on this once I put it back in there. But I know I didn't have 2 hours worth in there, so I did load that up and it's igniting and going. So like I said, if you buy some good quality lump charcoal, you don't have to worry about that problem. You get the bigger chunks. Unfortunately, I think, you know, the bag I bought, they didn't have my normal brand. I bought another bag, and I think they ran it over the semi or something before they sold it to me because it was all tiny. But we made it to this point, so I'm happy. So again, we're just gonna wrap this. I'm gonna take the grate off. The other tip I have for you is I have these nitro gloves, but inside these I have these cotton liners. And really the easiest way to handle this is with your hands. I mean, you could try using some tongs or a big spatula or something. But use your hands, but just don't do it without any type of protection because it is hot and it will burn you pretty fast. These gloves, I think I just got like a 10-pack from Harbor Freight or something like that, and they're really inexpensive. I probably get, you know, because they are covered in the nitro. You know, I probably get like 3 or 4 uses out of them before I toss them. So definitely worth the investment. All right, let's get this wrapped and get going. So we look at this beautiful bark. I mean, right here, man, this is going to be so good. So when I wrap pork, I don't want any pockets in there. I really will compress it. It's not like a brisket where you really want that steam to kind of seep out and stuff. So no pockets. We'll wrap it really tight. Make sure we get all the crevices so there's no air pockets. Before I put the other layer on, I'm going to put my Pro back in there. Alright, there's our little pork butt. All nice and cozy in foil. We're going to go put it back on the smoker. I I did keep this between 260 and 275 the first time around, and this was about 4 hours of cook time. So I'll probably bump it up to 300. I said it'd be another 2 hours or so. By the time it's done, Anna Maria should be here, and she'll be here for the big unveiling. All right, let's get it back on the egg. Pork butt hit a temperature of 202. I probed it with the thermal pen, and really I'm just going by feel, and it just slipped right in with no resistance. So that means it's ready. So what we're going to do is put it in a towel, wrap it in a towel, and put it in a cooler for about 30 minutes. Just to get all the juices to settle. Make sure you don't use a good towel, because chances are it will drip. And we'll just let that sit for 30 minutes, and we'll be back to unveil it. So you ready for our pork butt?
Yes, I am.
I'm glad you could join us. We're cooking all morning.
Well, some of us like to sleep.
So this will be resting in the cooler about 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
Oh, that looks beautiful. Look how jiggly it is, though.
Yeah. So I just put it in this pan here. Again, I got my nitro gloves with the cotton gloves below it.
You don't do anything with that juice?
I'm gonna pour it on here, actually.
All right, I'll hold it.
Now.
Oh, look. Come on, gotta get this out.
Now comes the fun part, is to shred it. I just use my fingers, that's why I put these on. You could use forks, you could use those claws, but look how easy it just
Oh my gosh.
breaks apart. And you can see that steam coming up.
That's why you definitely need the gloves, huh?
Yeah.
That smell.
Look at the bark there.
Oh, is that what that's called?
Yeah, that's called bark.
That's what I thought BMO used to do.
Bark?
Mm-hmm.
He does that too. Here, take a bite.
Yeah. Oh,
How is it?
it makes me happy.
So you got a couple options here. We're just going to eat this as it is. We'll put some barbecue sauce on it. Most people serve with bread and pickles. That seems to be traditional. But this is one pork butt. There's a lot you can do with it. I noticed we had some tortilla chips from the Super Bowl left over, so I'll probably end up making some nachos, some pulled pork nachos. But like I said, we'll just eat this one plain with some bread and some pickles. You can also make a pulled pork sandwich, quesadilla. It's so versatile.
Oh, yeah. Well, and we've been talking about a lot of people that don't have a huge family to feed. Does this freeze well?
This freezes really good. I have a vacuum sealer, so I'll put it in the vacuum sealer. Servings just for my wife and I, and dip them in some hot water to warm them up, and then you can make nachos, a sandwich, whatever you want. Grilled cheese, pulled pork grilled cheese.
Oh my gosh, and you could do a French dip with it. Oh,
I guess you could try
a pork French dip.
pork French dip.
Yeah.
Pork lettuce wraps, whatever you want to do. So let's plate some up, and we'll give it a try. Product. I know you already took one sample of it because I gave it to you.
I did.
What I did is I did drizzle some barbecue sauce. I used Malcolm's regular barbecue sauce on it. You could use whatever you want. We have a couple pickles and some toasted bread. So let's just take a bite. I'll just take a bite of the pork.
All right, me too.
This is my first time tasting it, so.
Hot. It's nice to be the aunt.
So I'm still batting 1,000 for pulled pork. This turns out amazing. Again, it just takes patience. It is not difficult. If there's anything you guys learned from this video, just do it. You can't mess it up. Costco sells the double packs. That's my recommendation. That's where I got this. So it is so good. So what do you want to do?
Eat, savor, and enjoy.
And we'll see you next Thursday.
Yeah. Bye.